Hey y'all, Blaumagier here, and we're back with more Sonic Origins Plus. Last time we finished Sonic CD and got our teaser for Sonic 2. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and start Sonic 2. And this episode's just going to be Emerald Hill Zone. We're now joined by our buddy Tails. We no longer have a Super Peel Out, but we do have the Spin Dash, and in this version and the mobile version, we can make Tails fly by holding up and jumping in air, and we can grab onto him and just tap the button repeatedly to make him fly for a bit while carrying us. It's really handy. And yeah, this is our buddy Tails. He's new to the game. He was being bullied by the other foxes of West Island for having two tails. He's kind of a mutant. And Sonic well, seemingly inadvertently put a stop to it by speeding past them. And Tails just thought he was so cool. And maybe he is a little bit cool. Anyway, we get special stages in this game by getting 50 rings and activating a checkpoint. And jumping through the ring of stars that appears. Now these are very difficult. These are some of the hardest special stages in the entire series. The first few are pretty easy, but around special stage 4 the difficulty really ramps up. The objective here is you're in a half pipe and you are collecting rings. There are 3 checkpoints that you must meet the ring total. Both your rings and Tails' rings count towards the total. But if you hit a bomb, you will lose up to 10 rings each time you hit the bomb. And those are the bombs. We'll probably see Tails hit them. I doubt I will hit any, because I'm pretty good about avoiding them. Especially in this version of the game, where it runs at 60 frames per second. The special stage just runs so smoothly, you can actually see things coming before they get to you. It is significantly more difficult to see things coming on the Genesis version, where this is like 5 frames per second. Of course, rings that you collect in excess do count towards your goal on the next checkpoint. That's our first Chaos Emerald. Now, in other versions of the game, after you use a special stage, you'll have no rings again. But all the rings in the stage do respawn. However, in this version of the game, we do get to keep our rings, which is nice. Like, greatly appreciated. So, we're just going to continue running through Emerald Hill Zone here. Looking for our checkpoints. I believe there are 3 checkpoints in Act 1 and 5 in Act 2. Which does mean, yes, we'll be getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds before we get to the first boss. So the general idea with these special stages is usually the first checkpoint is pretty easy, and you want to do as good as you possibly can at the first checkpoint to set you up for the future checkpoints with the excess rings. Now, if you want to get rings that are above the half pipe, you kind of need to build up some momentum. And I'll show what I mean at a little bit more advantageous of a spot. Yeah, if you're not moving, you do just kind of fall. Now there are still some tricky hills and whatnot that make it difficult to see what's coming before it comes. But not too many as long as you're playing this version of the game. There's our second Chaos Emerald. Now I just gotta find the last checkpoint, which is actually right up here. And I'm just gonna fly up here with Tails. Normally you would have to jump across these platforms, but I can fly with Tails, so why not? I am gonna let him rest first. Last thing I need is to fall onto that coconuts. Which is what the monkey is named. So we gotta get 60 rings here. Now normally when you jump, you actually would jump behind Tails, but because Tails mimics your movements, unless he hits a bomb while jumping, he will always jump back behind you. And if he does hit a bomb while jumping and ends up in front of you, then you can just expect that special stage to be a loss. It happens, but it's very rare. I don't think I've actually seen it happen in this version of the game, though. But it used to happen enough to be annoying in the Genesis version. Alright, one more checkpoint. Yeah, I told you we'd see Tails hit a bomb. Sometimes I don't see the bomb till the last second. Oh well. This is why I try not to rely on Tails rings. A lot of people like to blame Tails for them losing, but you gotta keep in mind, Tails can only pick up rings that you miss. Unless he winds up in front of you, like I just discussed. Anyway, that's going to do it for our checkpoints in Act 1. So let's finish off Act 1. Alright, Emerald Hill Zone, Act 2. I do not like coconuts. I feel the best way to deal with them is to stand beneath them and jump. I'm actually not sure what the Buzz Bombers here are called in this particular game. I just call them Buzz Bombers because they're functionally identical. Anyway, our first checkpoint is actually kind of well hidden. You gotta get on that platform there. and you kind of want to get a running start a little bit to get up here from that spring. This is special stage 4, and this is where it gets difficult. Early ring collection in this one is crucial. And I just missed a whole group. A lot of times, the game will lead you into where the next group of rings is. And sometimes it just flip-flops back and forth. I think we'll be fine this time. Yeah. I've got 150 rings, so this should be good. I have enough rings that I could take 2 hits and still be fine. And there's our 4th Chaos Emerald. That damn 4th Chaos Emerald. Alright. So, our next checkpoint is actually just right here. Real close by. If 4 wasn't enough of a challenge for you, 5 is going to ramp it up. You're definitely going to get Tails grabbing a lot of rings in this stage. Just because of the formation of these rings. And it's okay if you squeak by because of Tails' rings, but it is just a bad situation to be in. And for the final one, we have to get a whopping 200 rings. I really don't want Tails to get hit. At least we've got this section here. And I think we're fine. Luckily there were no bombs in that last section. Alright. With that, we'll hit the spring and come up here. And hit these springs. And I actually just wanted to collect all those rings. We actually want to come back here and jump on this red spring here. For some reason, this red spring doesn't work properly if you're playing Sonic Jam on the Saturn. I don't know why. And this is a nerve-wracking situation here. And that's why. Well, I can at least take care of those coconuts so they won't be there when I get back. So here's an interesting one. I messed it up. Let me see if I can respawn that. Okay, so to get to this item box, well, like, you're supposed to stand on that platform and then it just kind of drops you through the floor. I don't know why it's not working for me. Probably should have grabbed that invincibility first. Oh, there's another one here. Okay. Well, I will keep that in mind when I get my 50 rings again. It does suck that I have to backtrack this much to do it, but it's fine. Okay, let's get back to that checkpoint then. Alright, number 6. I can actually skip that one that's heavily guarded by the coconuts. I wouldn't if I was on the Genesis version. But since I am on Origins, I basically have like 50 tries at the next one. So, like, why risk losing all my rings again when there's another checkpoint that's much easier to get to? I at least showed you guys where that checkpoint is. And the reason why I don't want to go to it is because since I went into this special stage, the checkpoint, it's going to be surrounded by coconuts again. Oh wow, I thought that was the last one. Well, we just need 30 more rings. Now that I have thoroughly emptied my box companion of his rings, as long as I don't get hit, I'll be fine. It is worth noting, if you do get hit, you do actually have some invincibility frames. So if you get hit in rapid succession, you won't just lose like 30 rings in the blink of an eye. By the way, every time you hear that fanfare, I think that is vestigial for a continue. Either that or it was for the coins. I knew that was going to happen. I swear. Let me just go back and collect rings again. Okay, Tails was able to get in there. Why can't I? There we go. Be careful not to go all the way up against that ring box, because, yeah, there is kind of a spring there. I suppose one thing I could do... Yeah, I could do this. There we go. That's the way to get that safely. Anyway, here's special stage number 7. This one's just a lot of being on the right side as the rings come in. It can take some memorization, but it is definitely more possible to play it reactively on this version of the game. On the Genesis version, you pretty much had to have it memorized. And that was really what made it as difficult as it was. Like you saw that there, even on this version, you couldn't play that reactively. You had to know where those rings were. So we actually already have all the rings we need to beat this. Now we're just going to have rings kind of flying randomly at us. Just avoid the bombs and everything will be okay. Well, I guess I did get hit by a bomb in the end. It's okay though. And that is it. Once you see the sky flashing, you have gotten the 7th Chaos Emerald. Sonic has all the Chaos Emeralds. Now Sonic can change into Super Sonic. This is a new feature that was added into this version of the game. However, through debug mode in this version of Sonic 1, you can add the 7th Chaos Emerald, which does enable Super Sonic. And the Genesis version, you just collect 50 rings and jump. Maybe in some ROM hacks, you collect 50 rings and you press A while in the air, but obviously that doesn't work here. You actually have to press the top button on your controller. Which, for me, I'm on an Xbox controller, so that's why. But yeah, here is the last checkpoint in the stage. Also, as Super Sonic, notice I jump higher, and I'm a lot faster. And my rings count down 1 per second. Anyway, here's our boss. I don't mind fighting it as Super Sonic, because honestly, it's kind of a weak boss. All Eggman fights take 8 hits. I think when this one gets down to its last hit, it fires off the drill. Otherwise, it just drives left and right. And that's gonna do it for Emerald Hill Zone. And we have all of the Chaos Emeralds, so now we can just blast through the rest of this game without worrying about anything. So welcome to the Chemical Plant Zone. If you were as bad at video games as I was when you were a kid, then this is probably the last zone you saw in this game. This level is pretty quick. I thought there was a 1-up. Yep, there's stuff over here. Okay, it's rings, not a 1-up, but still. Yeah, this stage has us going through a lot of tubes. It's pretty cool visually. Got that city background. It looks really cool. I don't know where the city is on West Island, but you know, it is what it is. Stage gets really fast. And I haven't even activated Supersonic. That guy jumped out of nowhere, but it's fine. That's the end of the stage. So one thing about Sonic 2 is instead of having 3 acts like we do in Sonic 1 and Sonic CD, for the most part we only have 2 acts. And they're just normal length acts with a boss at the end of Act 2. Go over here, we can get a coin monitor. So it is appreciated that you no longer automatically go into Supersonic when you have 50 rings and jump. That was actually part of a reason for people to not get all the Chaos Emeralds. Because there are actually times where it's disadvantageous to be Supersonic because of how fast he is. He is difficult to control when you need the precision platform. Hey, I will take a ring monitor. So that purple stuff down there is called Megamac. It's the chemical of the chemical plant. And it's likely the reason that you never made it past the stage as a child. And it's in there where you probably met your doom. But, you know, I have tails, and he can fly, and I can just skip it. So, like, why not? Right? Yep, I can actually avoid getting wet in the chemical plant. Now watch out here, this is our boss. He's gonna try and dunk Megamac on you after he sucks it up. In the Genesis version, Sonic and only Sonic can just duck and be immune to the Megamac, but I guess that was a bug because they fixed it in this version of the game, whether you're playing it on Origins or the mobile version. But that's Act 2. And that brings us into the third zone, Aquatic Ruin. However, we're going to end things off here this episode. If you liked what you saw, please leave me a comment, smash that like button, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!